Welcome back to OMBI Anganwadi. In this video, we will understand what is a subquery. Let's start by asking a simple question. How do you show all those employees who are part of the IT department? So, do you know the ID for the department IT? The answer is no, because the employees table contains only the department ID and not the department name. As humans, we will try to solve this in two steps. First, by manually checking what is the department ID for the department IT, and then with whatever output we have got, we write the query on the employees table to check who are the employees who are part of the IT department. But can SQL do this in one single step? Let's take a look at it. So now we are in our query window. Let's query our employees table. And also write the query for the departments table. So like I said, let's first write the two steps which we would follow. Now let's get the department ID for the department name IT, that is information technology. So this returns the ID for the department information technology. Now using this, we will write a query on employees table by saying select star from employees, where department ID equal to 2. So now we got all those employees who work in the IT department. Now let's understand how SQL combines these two steps into a single query and solves this problem. This is where the concept of subquery comes into picture. A subquery is nothing but a query written inside another query. So here if we try to combine these two queries by saying select star from employees, where department ID is equal to this query directly within parenthesis. In this case, this query becomes the subquery or the inner query, and this is the main query or the outer query. The inner query executes first and passes on the result to the outer query, basis which the outer query executes to return our final result set. So if I am running this query now, we get the same result set. So SQL first executes this inner query which returns the value 2. So this value is automatically passed on to this where condition and the result set is retrieved. In brief, the order of execution always begins with this inner query, the result of which is passed on to the outer query, and the outer query finally executes to provide the end result set. In this example, our subquery or the inner query returned only one value. But what if a subquery returns multiple values? So if I tweak this same example and I say I want to see all those employees who are part of the information technology as well as the HR department. So should I manually go and check the departments table and fetch the ID separately and pass it on? Definitely no. What I can do is instead I can slightly modify the same query and say in the inner query that where department name in information technology, comma, human resources. Now this inner query will return the IDs for both information technology as well as human resources, and both these values will be passed on to the outer query to execute. Let's run this query. We got an error. The error says the subquery returned more than one value. The reason is that the subquery is returning more than one value, and that is passed on as a list to this outer query. Like we have learned earlier, that if we have a list of values in our filter condition, equal to will not work and we will have to use the in operator. So when we use an in operator, this will handle the list of values which are coming as the output of this inner query. Now if we run this successfully runs and returns the employees who are part of both IT and HR department. So this covered the concept of subquery and how it works, and also a scalar value subquery, that is when a subquery returns a single value, and also a multi-value subquery where the subquery returns a list of multiple values, and how both of these work. The important point to remember about a subquery is that the inner query is completely independent of the outer, but the outer query depends on the result set of the inner query. Do like the video and subscribe to OMBI Anganwadi. Stay tuned for more interesting videos on SQL.